How's it going, guys? Today we're going to meet up with the one and only Noble Crawford III. He is a real estate entrepreneur. He knows everything about government contracts, and he even had a video and marketing company at one point. And he drives a Lamborghini Huracan. I don't know the type of Huracan it is because I don't know nothing about Lamborghinis, but it looks cool. It's super dope, and we're gonna go find out how he drives it and how we can drive one too. So let's do it. All right, so you'll see the Lamborghini parked outside. We're gonna go say what's up to Noble and get this thing started. Let's do it. How you doing, brother?
Hey.
Happy holidays to you.
Hey, you too, likewise.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's get you mic'd up and go check out the car.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go ahead and walk down. Tell us a little bit, what's the liability? What are we looking at today?
So what we're looking at is a Lamborghini Huracan 610-4.
Okay.
So it is 2015.
2015, okay.
Yep. So it's a little older one, but as you can see, it's still in good shape.
Oh, it looked great. It looked great. It looked great, sound great, all that, yeah.
Still pretty pristine.
Okay.
And, so we purchased this Lamborghini Beverly Hills. Lamborghini
Oh, wow,
Beverly Hills.
okay.
Yep, had it shipped in.
Okay.
So sticker on it was right at 2.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't, I heard 2, but I didn't get the rest of it. So he was ready to go in. He was ready to go in. All right, this is how we do these episodes,
Okay.
right? This is how we do these episodes. We have to gamify it a little bit, right? So before you tell me too much about it,
Okay.
I like to ask you 3 questions, right?
Okay, all right.
If I get 2 of the 3 right, I get to drive it. If I get 2 of the 3 wrong, I gotta wash it. And I see it's a white car. You got some stains on there. I'll clean you up. It's not. It's clean. It's clean. But I got some spots that we gonna make it look nice, right? So that's what we like to do. All right. So these 3 questions. The 3 questions are, right? Did you lease it, finance, or cash? Right. That's question number 1.
Okay.
Question number 2: is it in the business name or is it in the personal name?
Got it.
And then number 3 is what's the sticker price. You already gave me the first digit of the sticker price.
Okay,
But
okay.
I have to be within 5% of the sticker price.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so that's 3 questions. You want to give it a try?
Let's do it.
All right, so the first question is, did you lease, buy, or finance? You just told me it's 2015, right? Bought it from Beverly Hills. I'm gonna say you financed it. Don't know the terms of the finance. We'll talk about that if you did finance and what the terms look like. But that would be my answer to question number 1, finance. So did you lease, finance, or pay cash for it?
Yep, I finance.
You finance. All right. So ding, ding, ding. Check number 1. All right, got it. Question number 2. I'm gonna skip the business or personal because the harder question is the price. Right.
Yeah.
So I gotta be within 5% of the price. What year was it?
2015.
2015. How many miles when you bought it?
Right at 14.8.
14,800. Okay, 14,800. 2015. Great condition. He said 2. The first digit was 2.
Gave it away.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say 275 for the sticker. What was your sticker price on it?
205.
205. Okay, so I'm way off. 205. That's a good purse though. 205. We're gonna talk about down payment and all that stuff here in a second.
Yeah.
But let's go to question number 3.
Yeah.
Is it a business expense or is it personal? So this is it right here. Am I gonna wash it or am I gonna drive it? Right, here we go. Business or personal? I'm going to say business. I'm gonna say you put it in the business, get a little bit of tax credit, a little bit of expense break on it, but that's my thought. It's in the business thing. Negative, it's in the personal.
It was
All right.
a pleasure item for me.
Pleasure item. All right, so I gotta watch this thing. Cool. All right, well, before we get into the numbers, walk me around and tell me why you went Lamborghini and just tell me a little bit about the car.
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason I went Lamborghini, because I had looked at some other makes and models,
Okay.
but it was always an aspiration of mine to own a Lamborghini. I've been in a position to for the last 2 or 3 years or whatever.
Okay.
And I had a family event that kind of triggered me to pull the trigger on it.
Okay.
And so opportunity came available.
Yeah.
And I said, why not? I was in a position to do so.
Yeah.
And there we have it.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, what we'll do is tell me a little bit about the trim. I see you got the Stormtrooper look, as they call it, right? The white on the black. What makes you go white on black? Was this a spec that you always wanted? What's your thoughts?
Not really. So actually, so I was looking at Huracans specifically, different models of Huracans all over the country.
Okay.
And a year ago, they were just flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
And so I had lost the blue one that I was looking at that I really wanted. Somebody snatched it up.
Okay.
A black one came along. That one went within 2 days. A red one came along right before I got this one.
Okay.
And it went the same day that I inquired about it.
Wow.
And so I said, look, you have a white one on the website.
Yeah.
Is it still available?
Yeah.
I said, well, it's available at the moment. I said, I'm on a plane. I'll be out there tomorrow.
Whew.
And I want to check it out.
Okay.
And so they said, okay, we'll hold it for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Flew out to Beverly Hills Lamborghini and took one look at it, got to check it out.
Yeah.
I was like, let's do it, put the deposit down, the rest was history.
Okay, cool. Well, now that sounds amazing. Flying out to Beverly Hills to go look at a car and go and get it. We won't get the full story, gonna get all the numbers and everything. Before we do that, can we take a look inside?
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a look inside. Let's do it. So you said you flew out to LA, to Beverly Hills. Before we talk about numbers, what made you say, hey, this is the right time to do this? I feel comfortable that I can do this responsibly.
Got it. So honestly, I had been in a position to purchase something, previous to when I picked up this car.
Yeah.
But the past year and a half ago or so, my dad passed away. And prior to him passing, before we found out he had cancer, I had told him just kind of on a whim, I was like, Dad, I think I'm gonna scoop me up a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And so he kind of gives me this look like, okay, yeah, I believe you.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it, right?
Yeah.
And so, so unfortunately he wasn't around to see it, but
Sorry.
I got it just as a personal goal of mine that I had set.
Yeah.
And also to keep my commitment to what I told him.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I see that you got the Noble 3 on the back, right? So obviously it's a little bit of, your name, but it's his name too, and your son's name, so passing it all down. Love that. So tell me, when you went to that dealership, right, they're going hot, right? So maybe the dealership got more leverage, but what was your ways of talking to the dealership, trying to get the best deal for a supercar? Not every day people going there and buying Lamborghinis, but, how did you try to get the best deal?
Right. So, interestingly enough, they had, prior to that, 48 hours prior to that, they had 3 on the lot.
Wow.
2 sold like immediately. And so I wasn't in a huge position. I didn't have a lot of leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
They were just flying off the shelf. I had lost one in Miami. I lost one in Naples.
Wow.
And so I'm looking all over the country. And so when I went in, this particular one was a one-owner car that they had sold to the original owner. They had been servicing over the years.
Nice.
And they were selling it on consignment.
Okay.
And so the owner had his price, and I just came back and I was like, look, I'm ready to go today. I need to get this amount to make it work.
Yeah.
And they went in, the finance person and everything did their thing.
Yeah.
And we were come to a deal. And so ultimately it worked out.
Okay. Well, tell me what does it look like to buy a Lamborghini Huracan? What does the down payment look like? What does loan terms look like? What does a monthly note look like? I don't know what that looks like.
Awesome. So here's the thing. I'm not much of a car guy, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Shocker.
Shocker. I mean, shocker.
I know, right? But so the reality is, when you step into like a supercar and an exotic or something like that, most often the dealerships want you to step up to that car. So they want you to have previous buyer purchase experience with a higher end vehicle.
Yep.
And the number one traded vehicle that I can recall up to a Huracan is from an Audi R8.
Okay.
A lot of people trade in Audi R8s into a Huracan, so it's a step up.
Yep.
And so I didn't have that. My daily vehicle is a Jaguar.
Okay.
And so I didn't have like that supercar or even elevated exotic car purchase history that they're normally looking for.
Okay.
And so my income was where it needed to be. My credit was where it needed to be. So I ended up putting 30% down.
30%.
Roughly,
okay.
almost 30%. So I put 70K down.
Okay.
Which worked out. And then it was on a 6.5% interest.
Okay.
5-year note. Put my payments like around $2,700.
Okay. Yeah, not bad at all. $2,700, $30,000 down. I mean, $70,000 down. That seems approachable or attainable, right? And when you see the Lamborghini, you don't know if you can afford them or not. But no, that's super cool that you were able to break it down like that. You know, we're gonna get into your backstory of your business and going into business, things like that, while we're driving around. But before we do that, you said, hey, I knew I could afford this a couple years ago. Was it like, hey, I'm making, you know, 2 or 3 times what the car is worth? What was like your cue to say, yes, I can afford this? For example, we had a guy with an AMG, and he was like, hey, when I could, you know, go and buy that cash with 1 month's salary, then I can go out there and buy it. What was your thought process?
Yeah, so very similar train of thought. So I was in a position, so the industry that I work in is a significant cash flow industry.
Okay, nice.
So from a revenue perspective, I was in a position to actually pay cash for the car. But for the interest rate that I got and how I could make my money move by not paying cash for it, I could make more money on my money by not paying cash for it than financing it, right? And so, but I was in a position to pay cash for the car. Ultimately, I opted not to, just to put my money to work. But that's how I quickly came to that conclusion. I had enough set aside where I could pay cash for it.
Okay. Cool, let's do it. Let's talk a little bit about your backstory. So I know a little bit just from research on how, you know, you left that W-2 and ended up, you know, entrepreneurship full time. But tell me a little bit about that story and how you got to where you are today from a business perspective.
Yeah, so I used to actually be in the live event space and in hotels and things like that. What I started out as a young version of myself doing, and I did that for a number of years, and it transitioned into technology, installation and sales and stuff like that. And I did that for the residential space, and then I transitioned into commercial projects, and I started working with the federal government, different verticals. During that time frame, my wife got diagnosed with a brain tumor. Wow. And so we had to get her in, get it removed pretty quickly because it was pretty large at the time. And so they got in, she had the surgery done, removed it and everything. And that surgery, which should have been like 6 to 8 hours, ended up being like 14 hours. Wow, double. So a couple of blood transfusions later and everything, they got it out. But she was in ICU. She flatlined. The second day she was in ICU, she flatlined twice, actually. Yeah, wow. And they were able to resuscitate her. And then after she finally got released from the hospital, and I had a decision to make in that moment where I was going to either stay home to take care of my wife or go back to the office and grind. At the time, I was a commissioned salesperson. Yep. And so I elected to stay home and take care of her. And so that recovery period was pretty extensive. You know, brain surgery is major. So she had to learn things from scratch. Yeah. You know, feeding herself, you know, walking herself. So at the tail end of that is she was getting much better, and I was transitioning back into the office. I got called into a company-wide sales meeting. Okay. And the CEO thought it appropriate to just berate me in front of everyone in the company. Wow. For having dismal sales numbers for the previous month, while he knew I was at home taking care of my wife for that reason. Yeah. And so on the heels of that, I had made a decision in that moment to kind of work myself up out of that job, grind, put my head down and go to work and get out of it. And as a result, I closed 2 really large deals that enabled me to cash out, basically. Okay, good. And leave. And so I exited, and on the heels of that, I started a marketing agency. Okay. And so not too dissimilar to what you're doing, but I was doing primarily video marketing. Yep. And I was one of the first HubSpot agency companies in the space. Okay. And I did that for a bit, and then I was introduced to short-term rentals. Yeah. And that's where the whole story changed.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Exactly. So
also, we want to hear more about these short-term rentals and what you're doing today. But before that, let's go back to the Lamborghini a little bit. While we were in the driveway, I heard a 6 as the first digit of that interest rate. Tell me, you know, when you're trying to get a loan for a supercar, is it, you know, you're going to a bank or a credit union beforehand? What was kind of the process of getting finance for something like this?
Yeah, so good question. So I'm a big proponent of walking in the dealership, already having your either your finance or cash in place or whatever you're gonna do. So you're not doing that back and forth negotiation, per se. And so I did ultimately finance mine through the credit union.
Okay.
And so that in part is what helped me get a really good rate. My credit was rock solid. That in part helped. The down payment amount, that helped significantly as well. And so all of those things kind of culminated together into being able to get a really good rate, and especially on an exotic. It's not uncommon to see 8, 9 plus 10, 11, 12% sometimes. And so so for me, with that rate enabled me to do was to go into the car with only like 30% down and not pay cash, basically. So
yeah, and you talked a little bit while we were in the driveway about, hey, you could have paid cash for it, but you didn't because you want your cash to still work for you, not being this depreciating asset. But what was your thoughts behind not paying cash and financing it?
Yeah, so basically, so the line of work that I'm in is a very high cash flow, high revenue generating business, and so what I've done as a result of that is I've taken a lot of that and put it into real estate.
Okay.
Right? And so so when I put money into real estate, typically I can generate you generate a higher return than the 6.5%, right?
Okay.
And so I put money into real estate. I have some other projects that I have some money in, but my mindset was that I can get my money to turn over quicker and faster and generate me more profits by investing it than just having a large outlay of cash when it's going into an asset that for most would say is depreciating. For this particular exotic, it holds its value extremely well, and it's actually likely to appreciate. But that was my mindset. In financing.
So back a little bit, I know we're jumping around, but I'm trying to get a little car, a little business, right? And I'll tell you the ultimate reason why here in a second, but little car, little business. So tell me, you were in, the marketing media space, similar to what I do, and then you found these short-term rentals, right? And then you got the government contracts. So tell me a little bit about what you do now and, the type of business that you have.
Yeah, so now they put it into sport mode so they can get some verbals and stuff. Okay. So now, so I transitioned to short-term rentals. My dad actually was the one who put me on to a YouTube video about short-term rentals. And so I watched it, and come to find out, there was a mastermind happening out in California. So me and my wife flew out there. We were like, we need to learn more about this. We were very impressed with it, and we decided, hey, we could put our head down and do this back at home, and that's exactly what we did. Came back to Texas, went to work. The long story short, we grew that business to 44 properties.
Wow. Okay? Wow.
In the process of that, we initially started out with a pretty significant reliance on the platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, those types of things. Don't get a slight bit of traffic, but won't get long. Okay. And so
they want to go back to that. I hear that. That still make you smile.
Yeah,
that still make you smile, though.
So much fun.
That make you smile.
So we grew that portfolio of short-term rentals, but during the process, we started engaging in what are called direct booking. So we were booking off platform. We were booking
no middleman.
Exactly, with the end user. However, we concentrated in specific verticals. Okay. So one of those verticals was corporate, one of them was higher education, one of them was healthcare. The other one was military and federal government. Okay. And so ultimately what ended up happening was a couple of years into the business, I had this light bulb moment of why am I not selling into the federal government? I have experience doing it from my previous W-2. It's just a different product or service. Right? And we flipped that switch on, and it was just up and to the right after that. Right? So fast forward to today, primarily what we're engaged in is providing lodging and accommodations to different federal agencies. Got a lot of contracts, and those contracts can last anywhere from several months to several years. Okay. Oftentimes 5 years. Yeah. And so that's what we do. We provide lodging and accommodations and housing to federal agencies, employees, their personnel, their contractors, military service members for extended periods of time.
Gotcha. Now that's amazing. And one thing that I heard from you in another interview was talking about, with the real estate, the cash flow was higher, but the less demand on you personally was lower with the real estate. Can you talk about that transition from, one business venture, the marketing media, to what you're doing in real estate, and how that affected you personally?
Yeah, so prior to getting into short-term rentals, I was in marketing, had a marketing agency, and I learned this concept called MRR, monthly recurring revenue, right?
Yep.
And so when I started enacting that and started stacking clients, my monthly revenue started to add up per client, right? And when I stacked clients, that monthly recurring revenue would increase. And so I fell in love with that pretty quickly. And so I had quite a bit of success. I was working with some very big name clients, like Samsung was one of my clients, for example.
Nice.
And so one of the things I learned though during that time is that it takes a lot of like personal time and effort to grow your own business. Right? Exponentially more than what I was putting in when I was working my W-2.
Yes.
One of the reasons I left my W-2 was to claim back some of my time, right? And so I found myself working twice as much as an entrepreneur than I was in my W-2. And so when I was introduced to short-term rentals, what appealed to me the most was the minimal amount of physical work time that was required to make significantly more revenue potentially, right? And so I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it definitely does. It definitely does. No. I'm in media and marketing, right? Very similar to you, right? And I know you also author the book, you do your speaking, you do your real estate, all amazing stuff. If you're talking to someone like myself and I'm like, hey, I want to drive one of these, right? I want a $200,000 Lamborghini Huracan myself. What steps should I take?
Yeah, great question. So I would say first and foremost, find something that you can become an expert in. Okay. Even if you're just a self-professed expert, right? So, but find something that you can really hone in on and almost treat it like a trade or a skill set, right? Like find that thing that you can perfect and become really good with, and then monetize it, right? And so, there's so many different ways to generate revenue, especially this day and age.
Yeah.
So much different than when I was coming up. And so, but find that one thing and then be laser focused on, on becoming an expert in that specific area. Too many people that I see, too many entrepreneurs or folks that want to get into entrepreneurialism, they have shiny object syndrome. Right. And so when you're focused on too many things, it's too scattered. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall. Nothing really sticks. So one of the things I've learned is to really hone in on that one thing, right? Become laser focused on it until you've achieved a certain level of success, and then you can branch out and start to do other things, right? And so even for yourself, like you're crushing it with the video marketing and that space and video production and stuff. And so like, continue to double down on that to the extent to where you can almost replace yourself and exponentially increase your income by putting others in a position to do what you do, right? To where you're not working so much in the business, but you're working on the business, right? And then when that model is perfected, then you can start to take some of that revenue and put it into other things. And I definitely recommend investing, especially in real estate, but it could be stocks, it could be crypto, it could be whatever it is, whatever your thing is, definitely invest to offset some of that personal income.
No, love that. You increase their earning potential, but then what? What do you do with the funds? You say invest in real estate, but crypto, stocks. What do you do to increase that wealth?
Yeah, so for me, it's definitely real estate. I think I like to stick with what I know. And although I do have some stocks and I trade kind of what I would consider the easy way through my brokerage. Real estate is one of those things that has generated returns that typically are going to continue to increase in value, right? And so, so for us at this point in time, we're into small multifamily, for a couple of reasons. Number one, because we like the ROI on multifamily, and also because some of the assets that we provide to the federal government are multifamily doors. And so when we get in a situation where we both own the asset, we control it, and we're making exponentially more revenue on it through a contract, that's a sweet position to be in.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
Hitting the gas when you got that in the back, it never gets old. It makes you smile every time.
It does. It's crazy because you get this euphoric feeling when you first get the vehicle and drive it for the first handful of times. And you would think that the exhilaration of it would wear off, but it doesn't.
No.
And I've had this car now for right around a year.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, maybe, after 4, 5, 6 months, the exhilaration will wear off. The exhilaration has not worn off. I still get excited every time I drive the car.
Yeah.
It still puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Now, owning the car itself carries a lot less value or weight to me at this point.
Okay.
It was kind of it was always a goal of mine to own one, and just to achieve that goal. Once you achieve it, it doesn't carry the same significance, right?
Yeah.
Then you're looking for the next goal to achieve it. So prior to owning the car, in my mind, the way I viewed it is like I've hit a major milestone once I achieved this thing. But now, having owned the car, I don't see it like that. That's not my impression has changed, basically.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I have learned that owning the car is it's just another material item. At the end of the day. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
And so I'm of course I'm happy with it, but if I didn't have it, I'd be happy without it.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I certainly don't have the same aspirations to get into other supercars, maybe like I did before I purchased this one.
Yeah.
After having owned it now for a little bit. But it is fun. I will say that.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, no regrets. It was fun. Well, let me ask you this though. The purpose of doing this show is, we want to build generational wealth. We want to be, owners of our time. But we also want to enjoy it a little bit, right? But do so responsibly while also, having the financial literacy. What's your thoughts on, hey, you go out there, you work hard, but also play hard and buy the liability and, put it in a personal name. You said in the driveway, it's a personal expense.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on that? And again, doing it responsibly.
Yeah. So 9 times out of 10, this purchase was an exception for me.
Okay.
Okay. So,
okay.
Because 9 times out of 10, I'm thinking, how can I, how can I write something up in your business name? How can I leverage the purchase of something to exponentially make me more revenue? That sort of thought. This was purely a pleasure purchase for me. I wouldn't necessarily recommend others do what I did in this instance.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get an exotic or a supercar, I would suggest, if you have the ability to put it in a business name or to purchase it in a way that is gonna generate a better return for you, be it taxes, the tax advantages of it, be it write-offs, whatever the case is, right? Had I purchased it outright, if I was going to do that, I would have definitely purchased it in my business, and I would have purchased it out of state because I could have saved significantly on the taxes.
Okay.
Then ultimately I didn't end up doing that, but I would think strategically if you're going to make a big purchase like this on how you can leverage it to your advantage.
Gotcha. Any other tips, sound wisdom? Again, I'm a media entrepreneur, wanting to get the Porsche, wanting to get the Lamborghini. What tips do you have? And last kind of final thoughts, anything?
Yeah, so first and foremost, there's nothing wrong with, wanting to, achieve the ability to get, items like this, cars and homes and different things like that. There's totally nothing wrong with that. What I would say is, there are other things that I place far more importance, right, than owning these types of things. And so, there's some core staple things that you want to make sure that you protect, right? So your health being number one of it, right? Your relationships, right? Making sure that the relationships are solid, right? Being both professional and personal, right? Your spirituality. I'm a person of faith. I believe significantly in that, right? Your finances, right? You want to make sure that you're taken care of, you, yourself, your family, whatever, is taken care of financially before you make a big purchase like this, right? And then I would say from a business perspective, you want to make sure that you're around people that have achieved where you're trying to get to, right? And so networking is a huge thing. I always recommend you get out and get around people that are further along than where you want to be, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of those people can become, quasi mentors to a certain extent, right? Where you're learning from them, right? Even if it's not personally, you're learning from content that you consume that they're creating and things like that, right? So being in the right circles, being around the right people, being around like-minded individuals, networking is huge, right? Because a lot of times, even in my business, yes, it can be what you know, but a lot of times it can also be who you know, right? Yeah. And so that's that time old saying of your network is rock solid. It's 100% the way it is. Yeah. So I'm a big believer in that. And then, to your point, just have fun. Right? Life is just way too short, right? So work hard, but play hard. Yeah. Right. And so for example, like some exotic car owners, they will baby their cars where they won't drive. They try to keep the mileage whatever. Yeah. I drive my car, right? So I bought it with 14. It's got almost 19,000 miles on it, right? Yeah. So I drive it. I pull it on the weekends, but I drive it, right? I do car rallies. I do car shows and events. I take it to, fundraisers and stuff like that. So I do get to use it. So those are some of the things that are important to me that I think is important to be mindful of and prioritize, over just material things, although there's nothing wrong with acquiring the material things.
All right.
Record, this is crazy.
This is crazy. This is crazy for the record, but I'm a man of my word. So I didn't get the 2 questions right. So I'm supposed to wash it, but turns out like we don't have some of the detail and stuff in the car. We're slacking. We can go show you on the actual car that we didn't bring, we were supposed to bring. We're slacking, that's on me. But I'm a man of my word. So I was just talking to Mr. Noble. I was like, how much to get this thing detailed? He said 200. So I went in my wallet, no cap, went in my wallet, and I have exactly 200 in my wallet. And so funny story, I'll tell you really quick. This is for the camera, because the reason why I keep $200 in my wallet is a car reason. So really quick, here's the story. I was, maybe in about 4th or 5th grade, and I grew up, I won't call us poor, but we were poor, right? And so I remember growing up, and I'm the youngest of 3. My older sister's 10, 11 years older than me. And she had a Pontiac G6. And I love GTOs, I love Pontiacs, and so I liked her car, even though I was like, a little 5th grader. And we were at my grandma's house in the hood. If you're from Houston, we're from Southside, Sunnyside, South Acres. It's the hood for real. So we out there, and we like barbecuing and all this stuff. We going inside the house, and while we inside the house, we hear clink, 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 and we all ran outside. They done jacked her car up, and they about to pull off with it because she behind on the notes. I don't really understand what's going on, but you know the vibes. So we go out there, we weigh the tow truck man down, all this stuff. And he was actually nice, and he's like, you behind, he had paperwork and all this stuff. I'm just sitting there kind of understanding what's going on. Like, they're taking the car that I like. So he was like, you got $200 or $300 cash. I'll put the car down. So my little self, I'm like, give him the money. Ain't nobody got the money. Mama ain't got it, grandma ain't got it, sister ain't got it. And so all throughout college, I'm behind on my car note, all that stuff, but I knew I had $200 in my pocket at all times in case somebody tried to repossess my car. So we're not talking about repossessing cars anymore. We're talking about detailing Huracan, so that's the level up. So that's some content right there. But that's for you, Mr. Noble. The next detail is on me, brother. Next details on me. I appreciate all the knowledge.
Yeah, I
appreciate it all.
This was not necessary, for the record.
It was not necessary, but we man of our word, man. Man of your word.
Yeah, and I appreciate that more than anything.
Absolutely.
You stand on your word, what you say you're gonna do. So that means more to me than the 200.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. To the next time, brother. I know you say you're not a car guy, but if you get something else, let me know. We can do another one. We can do something else.
Okay.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. You have a blessed evening.
Sure.